Good day everyone, this is Vimal Mahendru and the day is November 3rd, 2021. It's a beautiful sunny day out here in Glasgow today and the weather is also actually very pleasant, it's not so cold. Today I would say it's a day of cautious optimism. Yesterday the two-day dialogue between political leaders concluded and there were some major announcements by US, India and several other countries. And now the action has begun. The announcements that were made were fairly profound, and that's why I call it that there is a sense of cautious optimism. There is a sense that we can achieve what needs to be done to reach net zero and manage our climate change, keep the temperature rise within the targeted 1.5 degrees by 2050. But it's a bit of a daunting task, and I think that's where the global community is coming together to say we need to do something and do something fast. I want to specially mention here today of one announcement that was made yesterday and an inauguration of what's called OSOWOG by the International Solar Alliance. OSOWOG is One Sun, One World, One Grid. I think it's a very powerful concept. The whole idea is that between the tropics all around the world, at least half the time throughout, there is the sun. So why not have a ring like a grid around the equator where we can generate electricity where the sun is up and transfer it immediately to neighboring countries which are getting into dark or are still in darkness, and as the sun moves, as the earth moves, we will be transferring electricity from one country to another and thereby generating perpetual solar based electricity for the world. Great concept. I think the moment I heard of this, I also felt that it requires a huge degree of political work, regulatory work and important standardization work. How do you make sure that the grids of all the neighboring countries are similar or talk to each other in a common language? This is science and technology, and this is where the role of IEC becomes pivotal to making something like OSOWOG a reality for the future. I'm also happy to share that IEC and ISO have jointly launched what is called the IEC ISO Climate Action Kit. This kit is available online for you all to download and utilize. The link is provided in the description below. The Climate Action Kit talks about how the standardization community influences and is in a way a pivoting point for all the dialogue on policies, regulations and standards, and how to make sure that we are able to take any innovation speedily global. So do check it out. The link is available in the description below. I had a very interesting discussion today morning at the Nordic Pavilion. There is a Nordic coalition which is leading to transition to net zero, and over there was a panel discussion with a lot of industry CEOs actually talking about how the Nordic region is having a lot of oil and yet is very clearly focused on renewables, and Norway is in a way leading that charge. And in the discussion, one of the panelists was Mr. Claudio Fascin, who is the CEO of Hitachi Energy, and they are having a major wind farm project which they are connecting through HVDC networks so that electricity can be brought down. It was in a way music to my ears, given my personal passion for DC and how it is in a way used in our emerging world. After the panel discussions, he and I had an interesting discussion on the role of standards, and of course it clearly came out that standards are the real process through which such innovations as Hitachi Energy is doing in Nordic region, they can be taken rapidly and scaled up across the world. This is not the last you have heard of Hitachi Energy, and I think I'll come back to them later in another couple of days. I'm also concerned about a message I heard from one of the speakers today. He was talking about how the world is actually losing $281 billion of natural resources through illegal work and crimes against climate change. And crimes against climate change, when I first heard of it, I was not so sure what it was, but on discussion it emerged that this is about illegal logging and illegal mining, which takes place and then is not addressed adequately after that. Surprising for me, $152 billion worth of illegal logging takes place worldwide. This is a huge number, and you can imagine the kind of impact this has on the global economy and on our shared planet. In conclusion, I want to say that what I started with, there is a bit of cautious optimism, there is a sense of hope, there is also a sense of urgency, but all of this is also peppered with a bit of realism that we really need to pull up our socks, build partnerships. And the lasting message I want to leave for you all today is, it is all about partnerships. It's only through partnerships that we can go forward. And so I look at partnership being the new leadership. Thank you very much. Goodbye.